It has been a hot minute since the four of us have been able to get together to play some Savage Worlds East Texas University. I do miss my friends when we don't get together and play as often as we would all like, but sadly, real life entanglements and interference, such as like jobs and unfortunate things like that, do sometimes take precedence. But I was excited last time we played. Seems like our audio gremlins have been taken care of. Everybody sounded crisp and clean when I played back some of the recordings of our 1 hour segment. So that was good news because that was a gremlin that was particularly hard to ferret out, living somewhere under the house and do away with. So Savage Worlds, a rule set brought to us by Shane Hensley and Clint Black. Thank you, gentlemen. East Texas University, the setting or genre that sits on top of Savage Worlds. And that is brought to us by Ed Wetterman, Preston DeBose. Thank you, gentlemen, for your hard work. We continue to get much fun, pleasure, and laughter, delight from the work that the four of you have put in to making these game settings and rules available to us. Praetor's Rejects. Duff, thanks a lot for putting these videos out on the interwebs, making them available through YouTube for our viewing pleasure. I earnestly entreat you to visit the Praetor's Rejects channel, a presence both in YouTube and in Twitch. Just this past week, probably more like 10 days ago or so, another good fundraiser for the kids, Gamers for Giving, had a 24-hour gaming marathon, a series of 6 4-hour, I think that's right, 6 4-hour sessions that pretty much went off without a hitch, raised nearly $3,000, I think, in the form of bundles of gaming materials, books and dice and notebooks and papers and pencils and graph paper and figures, just gaming bundles for various wings of those youngsters, children, adolescents, I believe, that are in the hospital. Dungeons and Dragons, fantasy role-playing, Savage Worlds, as a whole, just a great way to pass time, make friends, and bring a little bit of joy. So the fundraiser was a good thing. It was a lot of fun to participate in, to contribute to, and just another example of the good work that Jimmy Duffy is doing. In addition, I guess I was neglected to mention there's also a presence on Spotify, where at least one of the games is now being put on Spotify as a podcast. So again, another example of branching out a little bit. Corey, you ran this original East Texas University campaign 3 years ago. I had to pinch myself soon. I'll probably have to bump that up to 4 years ago. But we had so much fun that we decided to blow the virtual dust off these character sheets, and you got us to the end of freshman year. Now I've taken us to the middle of sophomore year, and we continue just to have a rollicking good time. And there are some times when I look at the plot point campaign that we're supposed to be running, and I've taken these good friends so far off the track that it's like harnessing a nest of cats and trying to reel them back in and get everything back onto the plot point campaign. But that just means more gaming sessions. I believe this is 26, maybe, session 26. So originally I was going to run 4 or 5 sessions, but we're just having such a good time that I don't think we're ready to stop just yet. There's just too much story left. Too much story left to weave and to tell. And hold that thought, because we will be weaving and telling some stories tonight. Also hold the thought about the plot point campaign, because I think we're going to get a little bit more back onto the track of the Degrees of Horror source book, which essentially runs these students from freshman year all the way to graduation, should they survive. Caveat. Phil Cho, found you on DeviantArt. Continue to use some of your artwork that you have posted. It's wonderful, it's sharp, it's crisp. It exactly portrays the individuals that I'm hoping to illustrate in Fantasy Grounds. So a big shout out to Phil. Whenever I see one of your pieces of art, I'll try to give you like a little bit of extra shout outedness. That is indeed a phrase. My players, with their various incarnations and incantations of artwork, throwing those sketches and back of the napkin drawings and sims, and the character art that starts out as kind of like a I don't know what it's called, like a dummy, like a seamstress dummy with like an egg for a head and the lines going through, demarcating the shoulders, all the way to a full blown, beautifully colored scene that sort of captures one of our characters or more, a pair or all three or four or five of them, at a point in time that somehow captured the imagination of one of the players. So continue, please, to astound and amuse me with your skills. And like I said, it's a force multiplier. I prepare a game, you all answer me back with some artwork. It just makes me put that much more effort in the next session. Nothing a dean, which is the dungeon master in the East Texas University milieu, nothing the dean likes more than to have engaged players that are interested and coming up with insightful and clever, innovative solutions to the various problems that I throw at them. So I think that's all the paperwork. Let's just go through a little synopsis. As I said, it has been a minute since we played last. Let me see if we're still waiting for one of the players to get into Fantasy Grounds, or some downloads and installs of the software ongoing. Every once in a while, I think on Thursdays, they put out a big old release of updates. So where were we when last we played? The group defeated the Cowardly Lion, more of a weir lion who was feasting upon members of the pool or billiards community at the Angry Stick, a billiards club and dive bar in Pinebox, Texas, in the eastern portion of the state of Texas. They did lay the Cowardly Lion low. They did defeat an evil demonic Darcy with a well-placed bolt spell of hot fish soup from an item in the possession of one of the characters. Unfortunately, a local Pinebox police officer fell under Dorothy's casting of a puppet spell and did some bad things, which he will be probably atoning for. And that's going to happen off camera for the most part, but you never know. The way I like to run these games is we run into these individuals, these characters, these NPCs, these personalities, again and again and again. Some you'll like, some you won't like, some you'll be neutral about. Some just pop in at opportune times, like the two guys that drove the van into the Jimmy Buck adventure, the one in the Quiet Villas Rest trailer park and retirement community, the ones that rammed the gate to help the party escape. Those two gentlemen, I think their name is like Seth and Cody, or Adam and Cody. They pop in from time to time because they're always out and about doing restoration work and tearing up carpeting and stuff like that. So, Cowardly Lion laid low. Toto defeated at great cost behind the billiard club. Dorothy also killed, and these demons would turn into little puddles of water, quickly evaporate or seep away upon their demise. And earlier in the adventure, of course, the tag team of the Tin Woodsman and the Scarecrow similarly defeated. Where we are now, Pinebox Middle School. Elmira Gulch, the human guise of the Wicked Witch of the West, has taken over a classroom, and it is the lone light that shines from this classroom. She's got with her one Scotty Perry, a young boy whose imagination along with invocating a wish from an evil ring, an artifact from the hells, did bring these characters to life in their demonic form. She is surrounded by a retinue of winged monkeys that fly and attack the party. A few of them are swinging by one or two hands, or perhaps they're a prehensile tail from the lights above the Wicked Witch, ready to swoop down should she command them to do so. Sophia laid low by a strike, probably from a winged monkey, and pulled to a position of more safety by the diminutive Ava. Erica trying to keep two of the winged monkeys at bay, keep them from breaking the line past her to get to the other members of the party, Shep and Ava and the fallen Sophia. She's waving, usually an aluminum bat, but Shep from his truck gave her a crowbar made of cold rolled iron, which will indeed do a little bit of extra damage against these demonic, cackling, hooting winged monkeys. And of course, rounding out this intrepid band of students, someone that joined who's actually waiting in the school's wings as they entered, is one Forrester Harris. Forrester, a small, old, ugly man who runs the Pinebox Pawn in town. And he seems to be of like mind with these students, as they seem to speak the same language, talking about such things as the supernatural, as casting rituals, as items and relics that possess great power. Just right away, the students felt that they were talking to someone's sort of a like mind that may have had experiences similar to theirs, even though he is now wizened and gnarled. And with that, I think I'm going to bring up the characters' dialogue and reset Benny's.
I think I'm the only one that doesn't get anything extra.
Aw.
The sad world that I live in, only getting 3 bennies.
That, well, Eric could say, that's all I get, y'all.
Oh, see, Erica and I are on the same page.
Yes, more often than not. So let's see. How do I do that? It's not on. Doesn't seem on the characters. Oh, it's on that. It's on that sheet way at the top. I'm still. They keep changing the interface here for Fantasy Grounds. If you look to the far right, you'll see this sort of. I call it the bookmark strip that runs vertically, and it gives you a bunch of menu options. It used to be like a drop-down menu, and you can sort of hide and show things. And now, as real estate in this app is a precious commodity, especially limited to what I can show in my recording, you can shrink it and shrink it still and make it very tiny, which is kind of cool. So I'll be doing that and give myself the advantage of a little more real estate, which is a good thing. Bennies are reset. Now let's see. Yeah, I think I'll keep all my Dean bennies this time for reasons. And make sure Sophia's got 5, because not only is she lucky, she has the edge of, what's it called, very lucky? She's indeed very lucky.
I don't feel lucky.
Greater?
Yeah.
Is it greater luck? Oh my gosh, I know.
Lucky to be alive, perhaps?
Oh. Yeah, well, yeah.
I remember that I have you in the corner. I don't have Fantasy Grounds open, but I clearly remember the classroom. I'm in the bottom right-hand corner by the door.
Yes. Now, Shep, I don't owe you any extra bennies, right?
No.
And for reasons I think I will forestall granting any sort of curse. What was your curse the last time?
It was a negative Which one was it?
Negative to soak rolls, maybe?
Was
Maybe.
I thought it was the hostile one.
Reaction
No, not this
speed.
last.
Yeah.
I want to say it was
Man,
like
it's long.
it was I think it was soak rolls
Okay.
because it wasn't the bad odor and it wasn't
Rats.
vigor
Yeah,
or
the
anything.
stinky one is the most common one that he keeps on getting, and the one when he just suddenly has a cold.
Yes.
My boy has a weak immune system.
The king.
We're gonna work on that soon.
It's really bad.
That's the king
Really
card,
bad.
if I'm remembering
Mm-mm.
correctly. So before we dive right in, I would like to give the players the benefit of telling me anything that they're recalling that I may have forgotten or overlooked or simply not mentioned, or any questions that I can provide clarity on, as we're going to dive right back in to a very tall combat tracker. And by that I mean there are a lot of participants, and I want to make sure that we blow the dust away and let's clear away those sort of mental cobwebs. And I want to make sure that you all have a clear recollection of where we are and where things stand.
Now, was it this one or the previous one where I cast protection? I can't remember.
Oh, you did. You gave us protection because I look like a squirrel. And Ava is also kind of drunk.
Okay. Okay, so
Yes.
it went to you. I just wanted to make sure that
really
was still
excited
up.
about being Squirrel Girl and had like a whole. She drank a little bit and she got some liquid courage in her suddenly. Right. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm Squirrel Girl! Thank you." So
Erica was a bad influence.
Yep.
And just being in
both of them.
Being in that dive bar with that vast.
They were like, "You died once. What if it happens again? Drink up, girl."
It's like, well, there's the rail liquor right there, but what do we have up here in that cabinet up top there? Hey, this ain't bad. This ain't bad. Try something.
Oh Lord, don't even get me started.
A bottle of open whiskey in Shep's truck as we were driving. That was so bad.
Sloshing
just
around.
Getting drunk in the back because Shep is like, if you're gonna be drinking, you gotta sit in the back.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Shep was like,
so the
Lord.
three of us were just drinking away.
Good time.
Sloshing around, spilling out all over the front of your.
But she's so
She only lived
tiny,
once.
she cannot hold her liquor. She's never drank before. This is her first experience.
Oh my goodness! And just as an aside, that wonderful elixir of life that brought Ava back from the dead in 4 stages. Just that empty lead glass, cut glass decanter. That's the sort of thing that Forrester Harris would have for sale in his pawn shop. Just that sort of rare, artsy kind of thing, right? That's where you would go to buy 4 crystal goblets. If you were looking for some pawn stereo equipment, you would go to the, what's it called? Fork It Up. The Fork It Up pawn shop in town. That's kind of like your big box store of pawned items like athletic equipment, camping equipment, climbing gear, crossbows, bows, revolvers, long guns. Forrester deals with more of a sort of an exclusive clientele and your more rare items, just as an aside. So I think we're square. If there are no other questions, if there are, please shoot, and I'm happy to.
How far are me and Forrester from finishing his ritual?
Forrester had 3 successes showing.
Okay.
And from your ritual skill, he seems to be a man of no small ability when it comes to occultism. Greater than yours. Greater than.
Oh, definitely.
Greater than Sonia Alvarez. in the library
Ooh.
at East Texas University. Pretty learned and skilled. And Shep, I will say, a question that comes up every once in a while is, how many times does my bouillabaisse item work in a given day? My answer has always been, you don't know. You've done it twice. It could work more than that, but you don't know. I will say, you also have the bolt ritual that you could cast. Now, it would take a round or two or three, perhaps, but that is certainly an option. You don't only cast it off of the coin. That is just merely the most opportune manner to cast that ritual,
Right.
because it's stored in that item. So let me throw that out as just kind of a much in the way that you cast the armor, the protection ritual, by using a small piece of worn leather and some baling wire, some steel wire. You can certainly do the same with bolt.
And I've already done the 2 for today.
Indeed, you have. One against
Dorothy and one against Scarecrow.
The one against Dorothy was phenomenal. I didn't realize the range was quite so long on that. You know, when you start talking about a smarts multiplier and you have a high smarts, that's a respectable distance that you were able to soak her gingham dress with boiling hot soup. And of course, those little, almost like little shark teeth pieces of oyster and clam and lobster shell, which did indeed pierce her flesh and cause her pain before she melted into a pool of water. So, no other questions outstanding. I'm perfectly okay with starting.
Just one more.
Third round.
The boat ritual. Can I do that? Can I cast, like, from where I'm at now, start casting it, and then or is it something I have to stand in front of them and do the entire ritual cast?
I'm going to say that you are not locked in place when you cast that. I'm going to say that you could move.
Okay.
In that last round, when you feel that success welling up, and indeed, it's the last round that gives you the success that determines, like, your opponent's defensive roll or whatnot. You could, I would say, take a regular move, but not a run. Any damage that you incur, any jostling, etc., would impose a negative to that final roll.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, good question. Let's see. Let's go to round 3. Just
ooh, yes.
As you can see, I have a lot of people on the combat tracker. Oh, a flying monkey. God, Joker, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Oh no.
So let's
where does little Ava fall on the list?
Down at a 9 of clubs, which is
she at the bottom half of the deck?
Yeah, you're in the bottom half, but I would say the median is 10. What is it? What is it? The number that's drawn the most is called the mode in statistics.
Oh yeah, there it is.
The mode seems to be 10. So with you at 9, you're
the median, the mode.
Yes.
These are words I remember, but do not remember the meaning of most.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Variance, standard deviation, the various portions of the bell curve, the vertical striations, and the tails as they curve off. I really loved statistics.
Let's just say you're below the witch.
Oh no.
by 1.
Yeah. From top to bottom,
Okay.
we
You
got
know
a
what?
we got a bunch of
I'm
monkeys up top, and then Forrester, and then
I'm gonna
Sophia.
save my bennies because I want to save my friend.
I got you. Good thing Forrester's pretty up top. And what was he casting? He was casting a dispel to sort of try to uh,
Right.
to combat this veil, this circular veil, which is depicted as a circular yellow ring of protection around them, which has some sort of a bane effect to expel certain types of individuals from the outside trying to enter. So Sophia's up at a jack, and then we have the tens, Shep and the witch, the nines, Ava. Then another monkey, and Erica's way down at 4, and Scotty, who's generally just watching and cheering on Elvira. I think her name is Elvira, or is it Almira? I think it might be Almira, the school teacher, Almira, with her bicycle and stealing Toto in the basket. I think it is Almira. She's way at the bottom, so you know, Shep at a 10, you're in the top half. Ava, you're not in the top half, but not by much. I suspect you're going to try to hold on to your bennies. Erica certainly is. One more strike, y'all. I'm going to mess up this one's world. Ugly little sucker. If no one wants to draw.
Please do.
And just a short word for those of you who aren't familiar with Savage Worlds. The Benny is the coin of the realm. Players start off with a stack of bennies, usually 3, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little bit more. There are hindrances that take away, there are edges that can add, there are conditions that can add to that. Doing very well on midterm or final exams can randomly add a Benny. Of course, you can get a Benny by making the dean laugh, making me chortle with glee, or making me think hard about something that I hadn't considered, coming up with a good strategy. And how do you burn bennies? Well, you can use a Benny to soak. If you're shaken, you can get rid of the shaken condition. By soak, I mean you've taken an injury that's going to do a wound to you. You can use a Benny to try to soak that with a vigor roll, and it's like it never even happened. My favorite use for bennies, there's a PowerPoint system that ETU doesn't use. You can use to get 5 more PowerPoints back. They're like spellcasting slots. But the best use of a Benny is to sort of affect, in some minor way, the flow of action. Boy, Dean, I really wish I brought my fire axe with me. Well, you know what? Give me a Benny. Give me one of your precious resources. And we can say that your fire axe is, sitting, the handle sticking out of your backpack, and it's as good as there for you to grab. So it's a way to, in some small way, affect the flow of the game. If there's something you really wish you had, something that you really wish you knew. Sometimes the dean will respond, yeah, you can do that, you can have that, you can know that, but it's going to cost you a penny. So just a little aside as it will come up into play. We've got 2 monkeys on hold. They will act later, should they wish. The third flying monkey got a joker, and he is the one that is targeting Erica, sadly. And which one is this? This is flying monkey with no number after him, so it is flying monkey number, no number. Targeting Erica. He opens his mouth wide. He's got those sort of like yellow, sharp teeth. In some way, it reminds you of that zombie-like baboon that you fought in the cemetery not long ago when it really opens up. It's challenging Erica, and it is going to try to bite. She's extra tough, this Erica. This cowgirl pre-med student is extra tough. I believe it is because Shep granted her a protection spell.
Yeah.
Even with its Joker bonus. Okay, for some reason that was damage. It's actually the bite that should have been rolled. A 4. hits her parry. So you increased her toughness. So a parry of 6 will hit Erica. And I'll use that roll from the damage. Was only a 2. So that damage does not pierce her toughness. I'm trying to remember, did you give a visual effect to that toughness for her? Was it a suit of armor, maybe?
I think hers was Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, that's right.
Yes, it was.
That's right. With the
because of the lasso and the
oh,
bracers.
with the golden. Oh,
That's so great.
that's perfect. And
She would make a great Wonder Woman.
it takes a claw, as these winged monkeys can take 2 attacks. So Amaya, I see you connected, but I don't see your character.
I'm loading in.
I'm
I
keeping.
finally see the screen.
I'm keeping an eye on you. It
I'm
claws.
here.
A 4. Because of its Joker bonus, it manages to hit Erica. They are getting a gang up bonus, as there are 2 of them. Something I often forgot. It's pretty slick of the UI to remember that, even to the detriment of one of my NPCs. That claw damage is only a 2. Is that rolling right? D4 plus a D6. Is that really rolling right? Let me see how that's coded in. That just doesn't seem right.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it would sound. I mean, it sounds good to me too, but it says the damage is. Let's see what happens if I pull that damage dice. No, it's claw damage, but it keeps saying 2, 2, 2. Let me see how that's coded up. That just doesn't seem right. Strength plus D2. Bring up the little weight. Fumbles on a 1. Claw group. It's melee, right? I don't know what group it is, but I'll just type in melee also. Raise damage. I mean, the way it's coded up looks right. I've not seen this behavior before. Notes? No. Claw. It's lethal. Strength plus D4 is right. So let's close that. Again, it says 2. But if I drag it, no. Claw damage. When I drag it, instead of looking like 2 dice, it's just the words. Claw damage. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh. It's Fantasy Grounds. It's Savage Worlds. Is the trait? Yeah, the trait is called Strength. So why, oh why, create attack info, bring that screen back up, strength plus D4. I'll try typing in it again. Maybe I'll type it all small case, STR, plus a D4. It's lethal. Okay. Now I don't see anything at the damage.
Damage is usually capital S TR plus lowercase d4.
Yeah. Try it again.
Raise damage d6.
Yeah, it's not showing. Strength plus D4. Capital S, little tr, plus D4. Maybe I'll try it without the spaces. Okay, at least I see the dice now. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Somehow that did it. Joker bonus of +2. The damage that the flying monkey seems to have evoked is a 9. That's a lot of damage. That's damage plus a raise damage. However, Erica, in her Wonder Woman guise, looking very much like a blonde Linda Carter, staves off that wicked, iron, hard, and sharp claw of the winged monkey. The winged monkey unable to break through her defenses. We go to Forrester. Shep, would you like to go out of band and help him, or would you like to rely upon
Ye-
his ability to get those last few
Yeah,
successes?
I will try to help him.
Would
That's
you
a
like?
ritualism, right?
It should be a cult, as with
Well,
Savage World Suede, ritualism became a cult.
yeah, I have it marked as ritualism with a code in parentheses.
Gotcha. Yeah, we started the campaign using the old Savage World set, and then Suede came out, the Savage Worlds
Hmm.
Adventurers Deluxe Edition. And there was a 2-page PDF that was put out that said to bring East Texas University to Suede. These are the modifications you make. One of them was ritualism became a cult. Okay. You may roll and attempt to help Forrester over the hump. I see a 5 showing. 5 is a success. A 5 will give him a +1 to his roll, which might be his final roll. Would you like to burn a Benny and try for a higher roll, or stand pat?
No, because I think I'm going to have to use my Benny for something else.
I think that's a wise decision. Forrester
I will move back 2 spaces, though.
okay, you're outside in the hallway.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm basically trying to get out of blast range if it happens again.
Gotcha. Here comes Forrester Harris's occult roll. A 7 is a success. A +1 is an 8, which is a success with a raise.
Oh, good.
Those-
Actually, I made a difference. I helped.
You gave him exactly the number that he needed to successfully cast the spell of dismissal. So that success is an 8. And that is the roll that Almira Gulch has to exceed to keep her spell active. She gets an 11. She exceeds his roll, and the ward effect remains in place.
So, what does that mean? Do we have to start all over?
He could. He certainly could. However, he is going to choose not to.
Okay.
Let's see. There are other things he can do. God, that dispel, that would have
Because I guess what my question is because we had several rows. Is it just the very last one that counts
it is.
when it's opposed?
It is the very last one.
Okay.
He kneels down beside Sophia. He pulls out what appears to be some moss, a small container, kind of like a little container with a screw-on cap, and the screw-on cap is like an eyedropper, like a rubber stopper that you squeeze and pinch, and something else as well. What would that other thing? What would that other thing be? Let me check my notes. Another very small test tube. It reminds you when you go to the doctor's and a nurse draws blood, that little tube that the blood goes in, it's small, smaller than a true test tube. I guess you would call it like a phial, Phial or something like that. He also has one of those, probably in his teeth, as he starts pulling items out.
Huh.
Sophia, we will pass. Shep, Forrester Harris. He's remarkably spry for someone of his apparent advanced years.
Mhm.
He went into the room.
Okay.
You're up.
So I thought my turn not taken by helping him.
Yes, it was. I guess you still have movement remaining.
Okay, I'm going to stay there. I will, because what I'm going to do with one of my bennies, if I can do it, go ahead and do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is I'm pretty sure I would have grabbed my slingshot.
Sure.
But I want to have some of the code iron bullets that Ava made as well.
I'm not going to charge you a penny for that.
Okay. In that case, I will wait till next round so I can try to attack some.
Very good. The Wicked Witch looks at Forrester Harris and goes, "Join us, brother. Join us. The evil we will spread will be delightfully fun. Join us."
Don't like that.
Ooh, what did I do? What did I do? Who did we know? She doesn't want to target Forrester Harris. No. Ava. Yeah, she thinks the monkeys have Erica handled well. She probably doesn't think she'll be able to affect Forrester. We'll say she pulls out what appear to be some flower petals that resemble the scene from The Wizard of Oz. That as you were watching the movie, the characters were missing. It was simply a poppy field. She pulls out some things that look like poppy seeds, and she says, "Yes, small one, sleep, sleep."
Oh, yeah.
And Ava, she's going to try to put you to sleep with a slumber spell.
Dang.
Spellcasting is a 5.
She's already partially drunk. Now she's gonna go take a drunk nap.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
no.
Oh, no. Well, just don't. I was going to say don't start drunk calling people, but since Shep is right here, there's no need to get on. There's no need to get on the phone with him. But you indeed could make a.
Who's on her phone except her family
Yeah, her
and the
family.
people that she lives with?
Yeah, who are you going to drunk call?
Let's see. The witch.
Drunk call Sheppy's right outside the hallway.
That would be funny, though.
I'm going to burn one of my DM bennies.
Like,
I'm going to see if I can get a raise on that slumber. Because that was a. Oh, come on now. Come on now. A 1.
I'm gonna be sleeping.
Come on now.
Oh, too bad it's not double one.
Oh no!
That really kind of blew.
Sad.
Yeah, I rolled another d6 just to kind of see if it passes the muster of being a critical failure. And yes, I rolled a 1 on the d6. So she has crit failed. And she's like, "Curses! Curses!" The small
Enjoy
one.
that fatigue.
Yeah.
The small one is strong.
That's the first time anyone said that to her. Damn.
Eat fatigue, witch.
Shep, running around the corner is Lenny Gerber. He is favoring his back and the back of his neck. So he's running in kind of a loping manner as he appears to be injured. He is wielding what appears to be a small katana. Is it katana or katana? I think it's katana. A small, it's like if you had a martial arts display of curved swords. There might be a pair that are on display, a large one flanked by a smaller one. He seems to have the smaller one in his hand. And I don't know why he's targeting you, Shep. That is a bit unfortunate because he didn't need to. I'm going to run die.
Especially since I did not ever touch him.
Yeah, that might have been from the body slam incident. 9.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
5, 6. He doesn't really need the extra movement, but he really didn't know what he would see. And as he runs by, he's going to make a common knowledge to see if he recognizes Forrester Harris, because that's not a given unless you've been like shopping in town. But he should have common knowledge. I think I gave it to him at a 6. Nah.
He got the stank eye as he ran past, by the way.
He didn't really recognize him.
After all,
he says
he hurt Ava.
He says to Ava, "Help her," is all he can really muster out. But he's going to run past. He's going to form sort of a line, corner to corner with Erica. That should nullify their gang up bonus because it's 2-on-2. He is going to target said winged monkey. That's just the plain old winged monkey with no number after him. And let's see. This is weird the way it shows a d6. Yeah, that's right, because he's not a wild card. It would simply be his fighting die. Let me verify that. He probably took some Krav Maga classes or something like that.
Ooh.
Overseas.
That would explain a body slam, huh?
Yeah. Quite right you are. Moving 9, parry of 6, miss. And since I do have bennies, I can not only spend them for the bad guys, I can spend them for the good guys too. Although Lenny's sort of one of those middle of the road cases. We haven't, and the jury's still out there, but he will nevertheless try. Oh, a 6. It explodes, becomes a 7.
Roommates being the jury.
He hits. He probably comes in and just with a wild slash of this katana. It's right between a 1 and a 2-handed weapon. He probably tried to swing it with 2 hands laterally, and the monkey just sort of deflected it with his claw. But then as he swung, one of his hands came off of it, so he's kind of holding a long dagger. And he looks at the monkey and shrugs and just stabs at him. And manages to hit the winged monkey. That damage is going to be that much? That seems to be high. Let me check the item. 2d6 seems to be very high. I think it's it's probably a strength of 6 plus the weapon damage of a 6. But I just want to make sure I'm
He's not a noodle arm.
Yeah.
He's not a noodle arm like the rest of us.
He's almost kind of Erica-esque in his fighting ability. a little better than fair to middling. A 6 and a 2. That 6 explodes. Adds 1, a 9. The winged monkey is shaken. I already burned a Benny on him to hit, so I'm merely going to accept that he has shaken. That winged monkey should appear. It's the one that's kind of to the left of Erica. Got him, y'all! She yells. She's game. She's shaken and bruised and scratched and nicked from the exploits of the evening, but she is nevertheless game.
I'm so proud of my friends.
I just think it's funny. He
Cheering
is
from,
again is doing great, and you are knocked out and can't tell.
You haven't seen any of his prowess. No, wait, no, she did get to witness him body slam me.
Well,
Yeah, when he
yeah.
wrapped up, yes.
Ava, make a notice
That
roll.
was wit-
Ava, make a notice roll at -2, please.
I shall. Oh, wow!
That's a severe
That was
roll.
a double critical failure, y'all.
Yeah.
Wow.
No apparent effect.
That
It's
really
like,
hurts
don't
when
see
you have a
that.
10.
Yes. Wow. I was like, oh, no, this is like my best stat. The first roll of the day is a double critical failure.
That is quite something.
All right, that it's the game just chastising me for being the one who was late today is what's happening. The day continues.
For no apparent reason, Erica says, "Well, hey there, darling. I was hoping we'd see you."
Oh boy.
Just for reasons.
For reasons. All right. That's weird.
Ava, make a spirit roll.
Sure. That's better.
A gunshot goes off within the confines of this enclosed room, which is mostly cinder blocks and a little glass as these windows sort of louver open. A gunshot goes off, and that spirit roll was just to see if you don't piddle yourself just a little bit, because you didn't expect to hear a gunshot, and it is extraordinarily loud within these confines, and because critical failed, and because you're a little bit tipsy. But the dice don't lie. A 13
Yeah.
is a pass of a spirit roll with 2 raises.
Man, that'd be embarrassing if she just wet herself
A little
after
bit.
getting drunk.
A little bit. Although there's a variety of things that you could say that fluid is. Could be blood from Sophia. Could have been bouillabaisse. Something like that.
Who knows? Who knows?
A precious Benny is. Oh, no. I don't need to use that. I can use that. He's got them all day. He's looking for some damage. Doesn't matter. He's still got one left. And then the
Wow.
dean. And then the dean has some.
Ouch.
Sadly.
She's shaken.
Yours getting Shep rolls.
Sadly. She's got these sort of like voluminous. She's dressed very prim and proper, like a school marm, right? She's got kind of a big hat with hat pins sticking out of it, and her hair is tied back in a very severe bun. But she's wearing like a billowing sort of shirt underneath sort of a form-fitting vest, but her skirt is also kind of like one of those big, not quite a hoop skirt, but large, as you'd seen when she was riding that bicycle. So
They're like very Victorian.
yeah, she's just dressed like a very prim and proper school marmish kind of woman, and the bullet just ended up only grazing her.
Wow.
Unfortunately. And what has happened is Mir scaled, this is the first floor, so he scaled 1 or 2 layers of bricks, which in my mind, I'm seeing these square bricks that are mortared together and very easy to climb, very easy to get your feet in between the bricks, that little inset of mortar. Propped himself up, one hand up on sort of the louvered window frame, and tried to shoot at her, and also to try to like change the course of whatever is going on, as there are monkeys. There are monkeys that weren't expecting an assault quite from that direction. Ava, it's your turn.
Okay.
You maintain control of your bowels and bladder happily.
Wonderful.
Nobody likes to see that.
I'm glad that double critical failure wasn't for just completely peeing myself. Oh my god, that is like a legit school nightmare for like most children. Jesus. All right, so my plan was to see if I can't use a Benny to say that I grabbed stuff from the drugstore to concoct some smelling salts to bring Sophia back, like to wake up, because she's stable, I think, but she's just away. Because I think it's like Epsom salt and like a couple other things, chemistry stuff.
I think ammonia would definitely be one of the components, and there is certainly cleaning fluid that was there. I'm feeling unusually benevolent, and I will not charge you a Benny for those, because as a science nerd,
yes,
these are things that you like, okay, I want one of those, and one of those, and a granola bar, and some secrets, and some breath mints. So my breath my breath is kissing fresh, and a Powerade or whatever they had back in the mid '90s, probably Gatorade. Did they have plastic bottles back then? I'm thinking they may have.
Some cherry whip snackers.
But sure, ammonia and a little packet of like smelling salts, Epsom salts. Call it yours.
I will, thank you kindly. I will use it to awaken Sophia so that she is not knocked out in this corner.
Sophia, describe to me your injuries. Were they monkey claw stab wounds?
Oh yes, it was definitely a monkey.
Mm-hmm.
But not a
Ripped
squirrel.
right into me.
There was not a squirrel, but there was a monkey.
There is a squirrel in the room, but it was the monkey that hurt me.
The squirrel has a big red bushy tail. That might be the only squirrel in Pinebox, Texas. At least that's the story we're sticking to.
Oh no! How dare
I still have never. I grew up here and I've never seen a squirrel here.
Yes. It's not that they're endangered. It's just that there aren't.
I can't.
I would say, Sophia, make a vigor roll.
Sure.
Let me see your. Make that at a -1 for me, please.
Got it.
Wake up, friend. Wake up, friend. Wake up, friend.
Oh, I think I wake up.
Sure, that's a success with a raise. Oh, it's -4. It's kind of. I'm going to play a little bit loose with the rules, since you are in the middle of having your wounds treated, and we haven't rolled yet. I'll say that that's a success with a raise. I will give you the benefit of an 8.
Woo!
And you do, in a very woozy fashion, come around to consciousness. Yeah, Ava, she seems to be coming around a little bit. I'd like you to
No,
make a.
yeah,
I'd like you
get
to
up.
make a healing roll,
Try
just
it.
for reasons.
Okay. It was for reasons.
Keep getting hit
Yay.
and falling down.
Okay. You know that once she starts coming around, it's probably appropriate to withdraw the use of the smelling apparatus that you constructed as
Oh, yes.
it's done. You don't want to burn out her sinus cavity with uncut
Yeah,
ammonia and things.
it worked. You're
I think
awake.
I think you could still say something. I would give you the benefit of movement if you wish. I don't want to pass your turn without you completing it.
My or Ava's?
Ava's.
Okay.
I would like to use my movement to try and kind of drag a bit away from all of the madness out into the hallway.
You know
If
the
that's
last
possible.
time the last time you did that. No, you don't know that because you were dead.
No, I don't. Yep.
A critical.
I was the one being dragged.
Yeah, and that critical failure opened up the slice where Toto, who was in the incarnation of a mastiff, had torn your throat open, and trying to move you opened that up and just let that last little bit of arterial spray. You met your demise.
Oh, then
but you
am
were
I
but you don't
able
know
to
that.
help her on her feet?
It's not really her.
Yeah, but am I able to help her up on her feet? So, so that I can do the thing where I move like half movement
You don't think that
while
getting
taking
her
someone
you
else.
don't think that getting her on her feet is going to help. You sense just from her the way that she is splayed and the way that her limbs are akimbo that she will probably just collapse back down, maybe exacerbate that wicked stab wound that must have gone in like with palm up, those four claws just right under the heart, right through that slit between her ribs. You don't think trying to stand her up is going to accomplish anything, and it could be, in fact, more injurious
Okay.
than you think.
All right. Well, then I will scoot myself over here.
Very good.
Yes. Now I didn't call a multi-action, so I'm just gonna sit right here.
Okay. I mean, if there's something you'd like to do, since all you did was apply smelling salts and you didn't run, I'll let you take a -2 if there's something you wish to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, I would be willing to try and hit a monkey.
I mean, the DM is drinking Pinot Blanc tonight. He's in an exceptionally good mood and feeling benevolent, beneficent, generous. You pick your adjective.
Right. I have. Wait, what does she have on her person currently? She has a makeshift spear with a nasty tip and hairspray flame.
Right. In fact, didn't you have in your hand activated? You probably set it down like that little flaming. It's not a Bunsen burner, right? It's like a little tiny fire hydrant, a little thing with a flame coming out.
Like a little
It's
blowtorch.
it's compressed fuel of some point that I think you I think you lit it, and I think you set it because it sits very much like a bottle. It's got a flat bottom, and it's a little bit bottom heavy because the liquid fuel sort of sits low. I think it's sitting right next to you that you could have picked up.
Would so the way that it works, because I'm still fuzzy on how this would work, but if I use it right here in that angle, would it just be the cone hitting the flying monkey?
It
Because
is
it's a cone.
no, it's not a cone. It's for very precise work. If I recall, I think I'm correct saying that it was
big cone.
it was for using to like do soldering with to solder some of the pipes in
Mhm.
the bathroom at the Angry Stick billiard hall. So let's see, you want to spray that cone.
I think I accidentally put it somewhere.
Right.
Oh no! I accidentally used it.
I think the direction is doable. I think that the sort of the aperture or the very acute angle of spray is accurate. However, it's not going to go more than probably that 5 foot square. I'm trying to remember the
Yes.
James Bond movie where I think these squares are actually 2 yards, so they're 6 feet. I think corner to corner, that's a pretty fair approximation if you're able to activate this as to how far that would go.
Yes. I will do that. But since I tried to link my item into the chat, and it just said that I used it, and it got rid of it from my inventory.
Oh, that's unfortunate. What
So
else would you like to try to do?
I'm gonna slap it back in there because I think I used a flamethrower and adjusted it
Yeah.
accordingly.
What were we using? I think we were using an untrained shooting roll. Or untrained because you don't have shooting.
No, I have shooting. I do.
You do. Oh, okay. Okay.
I do.
Right. Was that a recent advance that you took?
Studied that.
Did you take that as
That
a
was,
recent?
I think, 2 advances ago that I took healing and shooting. They're both 1d4.
You chose wisely.
So I remember this was 4 shots. Rate of fire 1. Yes. Okay, cool.
You probably picked up, what was that, a can of Aquanet hairspray?
Yes,
in that like purple lavender spray can back from the 90s. Yeah.
Yes. That was very much an 80s, 90s hairspray.
Yeah. You cringe as you realize you're opening up like the ozone layer in the Earth's atmosphere. Yes. For your aerosol can.
Rip the ozone. All right, here we go.
Do you have them
Now
targeted?
I can actually do the thing.
Do you have them targeted?
Monkey, and it's at -2, right? Whoops. I clicked on the little action thing so that it'll automatically do a -2.
Okay. Double action, right?
It's,
In Savage Worlds, you could do more than one action around, but
time
it's just done at a small minus. Although -2 with some of these dice is significant. I see dice hitting. I saw a 6. I see those lovely.
Wow.
Are they the periwinkles? That they
Whoa, encumbered. Holy smokes.
Okay, let's see how we can play with these numbers here. Because I'm seeing a minimum strength penalty. You can forget about that -2.
The weight of it.
Encumbered -2. You can forget about -4 of that. You're only at -2, so that's 4 higher than that. So that would have been an 8. So let's see. I think I can go in there and I think I can change the number on the fly. Flying monkey. And this is me, being, a programmer by choice of vocation. I like to play around with things and take them apart and look at them and see what makes them tick. See what makes them work. The UI says Ava got a 4. I'm just going to change that to an 8. And it looks like it's a hit. Because the monkey's
wonderful
defense is a 6. And that makes it...
Yeah, I a flamethrower was 70 pounds, and that's like 3/4 of Ava's actual weight. Ooh. That's why it did that, so I got rid of it, because hairspray is not
you would need to bring a dolly with you to sort of haul that stuff around. So sure.
Like, Erica, I need help.
What did we say that damage was? 2d6?
2d6. Hey!
Oh, man. You killed my flying monkey? Oh. Let me check. Let me check my bennies. First, I'm just going to make sure they're not immune to fire. May attack twice around with no multi-action penalty. immune to poison and disease. They get a bonus to come back from shaken. They have flight, and they have special Wicked Witch stuff.
Wait. I burned him.
I'm going to let it stand. I apply it.
Yay!
The monkey can't take a wound. First I pop it up to see what the death symbol of the winged monkey looks like. It says blood. So I hope when I delete it.
Now we'll see, huh?
Yes, there's a splotch of blood. Well done, Ava. And I'm going to advance to the infuriated winged monkey 2.
Yes, here.